Hey, Caster Derek here, Bake Six Clan. Today I am showing you how I did the airbrushing and all the finish work on my sci-fi cache that was revealed on Gadget Talk. Now, let's get to it. Alright, so the Borg cube, before it was a cube, were these individual panels, and this is just right off as it's been printed, and there's 6 of these. And what I need to do now is take my airbrush and I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna start putting that UV paint on the inside, so when those UV lights are on, it really glows. And then I'll be gluing this together after it's all painted. And then next, after that, I gotta paint the inside so it looks really cool on the inside of that container. So that's what we're gonna be doing. First off, and this is gonna go over several days. I'm not gonna be able to do all this in one sitting, so you're gonna see me change shirts off and on through this whole process, or you're just gonna see different aspects of it. But I'm gonna start going ahead and using some UV paint, and I'm gonna start painting each of these little segments for the cube. All right, let's go. All right, so it's been a few days since I've been in the shop, and I've got the Borg cube. All these have been painted now, ready to go into the box. But so what I've got to do now is go ahead and get the box prepped with the battery powers. And that was one of the things why I haven't been in the shop for a few days, is because I was waiting on a different battery pack for AA's. This is a 12-volt battery pack, and I'll have a link for that down in the description. And got the lights ready to go in here. So what I need to do is go ahead and drill the holes that I need in the box itself to be able to go back in and then paint it with the star field and everything like that. So I'll go back in and airbrush it before I put the Borg cube all back together. So that's what I'm gonna be doing next. Putting the reed switches and wiring everything up inside the box, ready for the cube to go in there. So let's get all that done, and then we'll be back and see how this looks. All right, so now I've got all the wiring is done, and you can probably see a little bit of the glow in here, and I've got the reed switch here in my hand because I don't have it on the door yet. But as you can see, when the door's closed, the lights are out, so that's gonna save the battery pack, which is down here now. And then when it opens up, it's gonna do that UV light. So everything's working really great right there. So now what I need to do is go ahead and go back with the airbrush and go ahead and make space. You know what I mean? You gotta make space. And then we'll go ahead and get the Borg cube installed in, and we'll see how it's all gonna look together. All right, so let's get and start making some space. Okay, so now I've got that painted in there, and I think it looks really cool, and you can see kind of how it kind of looks there. Now the next step I need to do is actually go ahead and put the Borg cube together. And what I'm gonna use for that is I'm gonna use my weld-on, like I would use for acrylic, because that's just gonna melt that plastic and fuse it all together. And then I'll put it in place, and then we'll button it all up together. We'll put the front door on and the roof back on, and we will see how it all looks together. All right, so now I've got the doors on, the hinges, the reed switch, everything is installed. And I did the doors backwards. One door opens one way, so when this one opens down here, this is where the logbook's gonna go. So this is where the swag and all the log and stuff gonna go. So you're trying to figure out how to get into this section here. But the section that is up here, and these will all be different locks, opens this direction And this is where the board cube is in here. And of course, with all the light in here, you can't really see it, but let me show you what it looks like in the dark. And I really am thinking that this one is going to be a night cache. I think that would be really cool. This is a night cache. Just trying to find the place to put it though. But so there it is. That's what it looks like inside. And yes, you can see the cube kind of spins in here. So it just really works out really nicely, and it's gonna be really cool. Now, before it goes out in the wild, it's gonna have, I'm gonna put some plexiglass right here in the front. Still, you'll be able to get down to the turnstile here, or the Lazy Susan for it to turn, but it's gonna have plexiglass here so you can actually get to the cube. And I did do one other thing. On the cube itself, I was using the Weld-On, but I also went through on the inside and used some hot glue, just because it held it better for a little bit while I was trying to get that Weld-On there. But both of them works great, and that cube is nice and solid and ready to go. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Now remember, all the links for the different items that I've used, the reed switch, the Weld-On, and the paint, and the airbrush, and everything is going to be down in the description, so check those out. And those are affiliate links, and that does help this channel. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Thanks for joining me, and this was for the sci-fi inspired Gadget Talk challenge cache. So I hope you've enjoyed it. So check that out, see the reveal, see the process of all that on the links that I have here above me and in the description. All right, hope you've enjoyed this, and don't go anywhere. Go check out another one of these stories just right over here and find the story behind the cache.